Well, first of all, people are absolutely furious about the polluted state of our rivers, lakes and our seas. Last year, we saw record levels of sewage being pumped into our waterways. It's damaging tourism. It's making kids sick if they go to paddle. We even had the Oxford and Cambridge boat race where some of the rowers were getting sick as well. It's happening because the Conservative government turned a blind eye while the water companies were pumping this stuff into the waterways. So Labour's going to get a grip of the situation. Within 7 days of the election and my appointment as Environment Secretary, I had the water company bosses in my office and they signed up to an initial package of measures. There's more in the King's Speech. We put forward a water special measures bill, and that includes bringing back accountability into the system. So if water bosses keep pumping these levels of raw sewage into our waterways, they'll face criminal charges. We'll give the regulator the power they need to ban the payment of the multi-million-pound bonuses they've been awarding themselves despite overseeing this kind of catastrophic failure. And we're going to ring-fence customers' money that is earmarked for investment in improving the sewage infrastructure so that if it's not spent on that, it gets refunded back to customers in discounts off their bills. So by taking measures like that, common sense measures, we focus the sector on cleaning up our water rather than lining their own pockets.
And have you set any target on that from a time perspective? When do you expect water quality to be improved by?
Well, we're working right now by strengthening. It's an interesting aspect of the problem, this, but by strengthening regulation and applying it more consistently, we make the sector more investable. So we're hoping to bring in £88 billion of private sector investment, not taxpayers' money, private sector investment over the 5 years of this government so that we can see visible improvement over that
But
time
have the
frame.
water companies been given targets, you know, water quality must improve by 2027?
There will be. As soon as we've got that investment secured, we will be sitting down with them and making clear what we expect to see by when. You know, we need to get away from the sticking plaster approach. There's a very profound problem here. It's going to take, it's not an overnight fix.
No.
We need a long-term plan, but we will make sure that it's broken down into milestones along the way so the public can see whether or not the water companies are meeting the targets that we give them.
And that £88 billion investment, which you're saying is going to be made by private companies.
That's right.
How much is it going to cost the taxpayer, though, to help clean up our waters?
Well, it won't cost the taxpayer anything. This will come in through private sector investment. Ofwat has proposed an increase in bills over the next 4 years. Now, had the previous government taken these measures 14 years ago, then the sewage system would not have crumbled to the extent that it has, and it wouldn't be necessary to put bills up. But we will not be turning to the taxpayer. This is private sector investment. 88 billion actually is the biggest ever investment in the water sector and will be the second biggest investment in the entire economy over the lifetime of this government.